You are listening to Sleeping in the Wild Stories. The soft, soothing life stories of animals in the wild are told at nature's slow pace. Relax and rest on this journey. I was born beneath the snow. My first memories are not of the endless white above me, but of warmth. The steady breath of my mother and the soft pressure of my siblings curled around me. Outside our den, the wind carved patterns across the tundra, but down where we were, it was still. Just darkness, warmth, and the quiet hum of life beginning. I couldn't see anything yet. For the first days, the world was only scent and sound, my mother's calm, familiar smell, the faint rustle of her fur, and the low, distant rumble of ice shifting above us. I didn't know it yet, but everything out there, the wind, the white ground, the long shadows, would one day be my home. For now, I only knew safety. When my eyes finally opened, the world changed all at once. The den was dim, but compared to the darkness I'd lived in, it felt bright. My siblings moved, unsteady, clumsy, and I tried to follow. But the real shock came the first time we stepped outside. The tundra was enormous, white in every direction. Cold air rushed against my face, sharp but refreshing. I blinked quickly, trying to adjust. It felt like the whole sky was glowing. This land did not care who we were. It did not welcome or reject us. It simply existed, vast, silent, and indifferent. But my mother understood it. She stepped onto the snow with confidence, every movement measured, every sound significant. We learned by watching her, how she lifted her nose to read the wind, how she paused when the snow beneath her shifted, how she shaped her life around the tundra's rhythm. I didn't realize it then, but the tundra was already teaching me too. As I grew, something inside me sharpened. My ears became my greatest tool. I could hear things I couldn't see, the faintest scratch under the snow, the quick heartbeat of a lemming hiding below, the distant wing beat of a snowy owl passing overhead. To most creatures, winter meant silence. To us, it meant information. The snow spoke, if you knew how to listen. Some nights I followed my mother across the frozen ground, our paws barely making a sound. When she stopped, I stopped. When she lowered her head, I mirrored her. She would tilt her head, listening for movement deep under the ice-crusted snow. And then, a perfect, still moment. A jump. A sharp dive into the snow, and a meal. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't violent. It was simply the way we survived. Watching her, I began to understand my place in this world. Not a ruler, not a victim, just a quiet presence carving out a life one step at a time. Eventually, the time came when my family drifted apart. This is normal for us. Arctic foxes are meant to travel alone. Winter that year was harder than any I'd known. Storms came without warning, and the wind could erase my tracks in seconds. But the tundra rewards patience. It punishes panic. Some days I walked long distances and found almost nothing. I learned to move slowly, to conserve my strength, to trust the patterns of the snow. I felt alone, but not lonely. The tundra is full of quiet life. The soft crackle of ice shifting at dusk, the muffled thumps of caribou passing in the distance, the whisper of snowflakes landing on my fur. When the world is this quiet, you begin to hear yourself more clearly. I learned to endure. I learned to wait. I learned that survival is not constant effort. It's constant awareness. In adulthood, the world began to feel smaller, not because it changed, but because I finally understood it. I knew the direction the wind usually carried the scent of food. I knew where the ground tended to crack after a storm. I knew which snowdrifts hid tunnels beneath them and which were solid as stone. Every night I made a slow circle of my territory, a fallen log by the ridge, a cluster of black rocks that warmed slightly in the sun, a narrow valley where the wind died down. These were not landmarks for others, they were landmarks for me. My life wasn't dramatic, it wasn't meant to be. It was routine, movement, listening, waiting, resting, repeating, a simple rhythm that kept me grounded in a landscape that could swallow a creature like me without even noticing. As the years passed, my fur became thicker, softer. My steps became steadier, but slower. I no longer traveled as far each night. I stayed near places I knew well, places the wind shaped in familiar ways. The tundra hadn't changed, but I had. I found comfort in slow movements, curling beneath a snowdrift, letting the world fall silent, watching the aurora ripple across the sky as if the night itself were breathing. Even now, in age, I don't see my life as harsh. It has been quiet, simple, and shaped entirely by the land I walk upon. And in that simplicity, there is peace. As you listen to this story, I am somewhere in the frozen north, moving through snow that remembers every step but keeps none of them for long. I am not fast, I am not powerful, I am not feared, but I am here, alive in a place where life must be learned slowly. My quiet world shaped me just as your world shapes you. If your eyes feel heavy now, let them close. The tundra will keep its calm, and I will continue my silent walk through the long, soft night. Thank you for listening. If your eyes are heavy, just close them. The story will stay here. It will remain silent and wait for you whenever you need to rest. Good night, and good night from Sleeping in the Wild Stories.